Hey guys, I do want to put out a disclaimer for this video. We are using a very high strength ammonia to fume these pieces of wood. Do not try this in your home, in your basement, maybe not even in your garage shop. You want to do this in an area with adequate ventilation. These fumes can be harmful, and always make sure that you're wearing the proper safety equipment, gloves, mask, goggles, whatever it is you might need for the products you're handling.
Fail.
Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for checking out this episode of Revealed. We have something a little bit different for you today. We are here in the shop, and as you can see behind me, we have a tent type of thing set up. We're actually fuming some white oak. Last week, I did a few different tests here. This is a process that we don't actually get into here in our shop a lot. We would probably usually sub this out to a finisher, but since this is such a small project, it's something that we can tackle here. Not a process that I have done a lot in the past, so I'm still trying to figure it out as well. So the process of fuming white oak, actually done with ammonia, and we want the fumes of that ammonia and the vapors to release out into the air, being captured by the container that it's in. And there's a chemical reaction between the fumes in the ammonia and the tannins in the wood that actually cause the wood to darken. Think of it like a stain. However, it goes a little bit deeper and penetrates through the wood a little further. And the longer that you leave this in that container mixing with those gases, the darker that it gets. For this job, it's just a small bench that we're fitting into an existing area. So this here is a sample of what those finished boards are, and this is what we're looking to match. Now this is a very light fuming, and we were told that going into it that it was a very mild fuming process. Typically when you're fuming a piece of furniture, you would leave it in this bag or tent. So typically when you're fuming furniture, you would leave it in that container for multiple days to really get a nice dark finish. Since this is so light, we're only experimenting with a few hours and actually ended up needing to scale back a little bit and just keep it in for a few minutes. So here with our stack of samples, our top one is our control. So this is raw white oak. There is no fuming done to this. On one side, we have applied the same finish that is on the existing area. And on the other side, it's just the raw wood. So if we compare the 2-hour fuming to the non-fumed, you can see how much darker that actually is. And as we go through the process and get into 4, 6, or even 8 hours of fuming, you can see how much darker it becomes. Since this is very clearly much darker than what we were looking for, we scaled back and went into just a few minutes, 10, 20 minutes. So comparing some of those lighter ones to our control sample that's not fumed, we can slowly see that we start to get a bit darker and to the point where we can match the existing conditions. So once we had our samples ready, we can move on to actually fuming the pieces. From the information that I was able to find about fuming and reaching out to some of our other resources, they're using a ratio of about 2 to 3 cups per 30,000 cubic inches of space. So we're gonna go ahead and use about 4 times that, since our new tent is 4 times that size. So we're gonna end up using 8 to 12 cups of ammonia. And I think we're actually gonna err on the lighter side. So probably around 8 cups, because we can always keep these in a little bit longer to get that color that we want, and it's a little bit harder to reverse that process. And we're gonna go ahead and put all of our solid stock into the bag first. So what we're gonna do is actually wheel this cart outside so those vapors and fumes of that ammonia don't get stuck in our shop. We want some well-ventilated space.
Let's put the ammonia in. Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
So once we figure out the exact time combination for the pieces that are currently in the bag, we're gonna go ahead and put this piece in. This here is the actual bench top itself. We're not overly concerned with this piece as it will be covered by a cushion, but we do wanna make sure that it matches closely so that the areas that are exposed once that cushion is on still do blend in. These pieces are all over 8 feet long, which means that we had to custom veneer all of these pieces here in-house. So on this project, we went with a rustic white oak veneer, as well as the solid lumber that is currently being fumed, and that is to match the existing space. Time to make the donuts.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah, I think so, man.
Might even be a little too dark.
Yeah. Okay.
Siri, set a timer for 7 minutes.
So while we wait, so this piece here was a cutoff. It had not been fumed. So even though these were only in that tent for a few minutes, you can see that this is significantly darker than where we started, even after just a couple of minutes. These solid lumber pieces look to be a little bit too dark, so we'll probably go ahead and scuff them back a little bit, bringing that finish down to match the sample from the space. So we're just going to use a 400 grit sandpaper, give them a very light scuff, again, just to take back that color a little bit. So then we're going to apply a Loba Invisible finish. This is the same finish that they used on the walls of the existing space, and we are trying to match that exactly. So we're going to use the same finish that they had used previously. We're going to apply this finish with a roller, and we're gonna do 2 coats, scuffing in between each coat. So now that it's been a few days and everything has had time to dry, here's what that bench looks like when it is set up here in our shop, just on our workbench, but it gives you the idea of what it's going to look like in its final space. So one other thing I want to briefly touch upon with you guys, we've hinted at some retail products dropping in the future, and we've been working on this bed frame. So this particular bed frame here is made from solid walnut, and it fits a queen size mattress. This one here is up for grabs, but we do plan on offering these in a made to order fashion, and they are easily shipped. Everything comes in a flat pack design. So if you are interested, drop us a line and let us know. We can make these in just about any wood that you might need and in different sizes. So unfortunately, we don't have a Q&A for you after this episode. This week, there were a lot of questions. We just didn't have a chance to get to them. So once we get back in the new year, we will be sure to get back into answering those questions for you. But please keep them coming. Drop them in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next one.